This is Dave Wirt for Ag Market News. This week in Pennsylvania we had 3,282 head of cattle compared to 3,457 last week and 3,990 a year ago. Compared to last week's markets, steers, Holsteins, and heifers sold mostly steady to firm. Cows were mostly steady, bulls were steady. Steers high choice and prime are 123.25 to 128.50. Choice was 116 to 118.75. Selects are 112 to 115. Holstein steers high choice and prime are 104.75 to 109.25. Choice were running $1 to 103. Selects are 94 to 99.50. Heifers high choice and prime 119 to 122. Choice was 116 to 118. Cows breakers were 76 to 79.50. Boners were 73.75 to 78. And lean cows were 69 to 73.75. Average dressing bulls were 91.25 to 95.50. Feeder cattle, medium and large frame 1 steers 3 to 500 pounds are 136 to 150. Heifers in the same range are 130 to 140, and bulls were also 131 to 143.75. Calves this week there was 2,111 compared to 1,924 last week and 1,885 a year ago. Compared to last week's markets, bull calves were about $10 to $20 lower. Heifers were about $5 to $10 higher. Number 1 Holstein bull calves 95 to 120 pounds was 183 to 205. Lighter calves are 140 to 160. Number 2s are 161 to 180. Number 3s are running 105 to 140. Heifers were 112 to 133 for number 1s, and number 2s were 88 to 114. Hogs there was 1,034 compared to 1,365 last week and 1,393 a year ago. Hogs, barrels, and gilts were mostly $4 to $5 higher. Sows were about $2 to $3 lower. 49 to 54% lean barrels and gilts were running 63 to 67, 45 to 49% were 57 to 61. 3 to 500 pound sows were 40 to 43, 5 to 700 pounds are 43 to 45. Lambs and sheep there was 3,170 compared to 3,911 last week and 2,118 a year ago. Compared to last week, lambs were about $40 to $50 higher and ewes were about $10 to $20 higher. Choice lambs 40 to 50 pounders are 145 to 160. 50 to 60 pounders are 177 to 195. 70 to 90 pounders are 142 to 172. 80 to 110 pounders are 152 to 166. Good ewes 120 to 150 pounders were 60 to 78. Utilities in the same range were about 44 to 48. Sheep and goats were 1,916 head compared to 1,665 last week and 1,225 a year ago. Compared to last week, kids were mostly $10 higher, nannies were about $5 to $10 lower, and billies were about steady to firm. Goats are sold by the head with weights estimated. Selection 1 kids 40 to 60 pounders were 142 to $167 a head. 60 to 80 pounders were 158 to 170 a head. 80 to 90 pounders were 167 to 175 a head. Selection 2's 40 to 60 pounders were 110 to $138. 60 to 80 pounders were 135 to $155. 90 to 100 pounders were 120 to $160. 40 to 60 pounders on the number 3s were running $67 to $97. 60 to 70 pounders were $64 to $76. Nannies, selection 1s, 110 to 130 pounders were 132 to $142. 120 to 150 pounders were 135 to $160. Selection 2s, 100 to 120 pounders were 102 to $122. Heavier nannies were running 100 to $115. Billies, selection 1s, 100 to 120 pounders were 170 to $220. 90 to 110 pounders were $200 to $230. Selection 2s, 70 to 90 pounders were running $137 to $165. Weathers, selection 1s, 70 to 90 pounders were 177 to $202. 90 to 110 pounds were $200 to $230. Selection 2, 70 to 90 pounders were $120 to $140. This is Dave Wirt for Ag Market News. Have a good week.